trying to work Streamlabs from from one phone. Looking at another anyways. I hope you can hear me. If you can, that's great. Let me open YouTube on this other phone so I can see what's going on, if anything. Gotta get to my channel here. Come on. It's like this every time. Okay, I have it testing Streamlabs. I'm doing this from a phone. I don't even know if anybody can hear me, but it says I'm going. It says I'm going on the phone, so. My videos. Testing Streamlabs. That was old. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this. Fucking skip this shit. Hey. Alright, where am I? It says I'm live somehow. Yep, there it is. All right, Carnival of Souls. No views. 1 minute ago. Why can't I see it? Why won't it let me see it? Come on. It'll let me see the one that I did, but it won't let me see the one that I'm doing. Wow, this is total crap. And I refuse to pay for that shit that got doubled on me. YouTube Studio. Content. Live. Not even showing up in here. It's showing up on YouTube. My videos. Live. I'm in the garage, so I'm doing this from 2 different phones. I'm looking at one on the phone, and I'm recording one on the other phone. Yeah, I don't care about that. No, that's not what I want to do. Not trying to share events, no events, settings, blah, 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 chat, no messages, that's great. All right, that's not working. If I was wise, I would just shut all this fucking shit off and just get this fucking thing done. But I feel like I need to figure out how to have a presence here and how to get this to work between phones. I got one going live. What's this? Oh, switch between scenes. I don't want to do that. Oh. Live. The only lives I got are the ones that have already been done. That makes no sense to me. It says I'm live, but I can't see it while it's happening on this phone. Testing Streamlabs. I can watch that all I want. I don't want to. You know, for a second I saw it. It was there somewhere. Had a little live thing next to it and everything. My videos. Live. Nothing. Jesus. All right, whatever. Let's try one more thing. Live events on my YouTube channel. Okay, I can get it through my email. Events on my YouTube channel. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, I can get it through my email. Who knows why that's a thing? Okay, I can get it through my email. Turn off the speaker. All right, so I'm fucking painting here. It's a thing. If I want to see the chat. All right, so there's the chat. I guess I'll have to look over every once in a while. Gee, man, I got to get some kind of a better setup. This is just absolutely excruciating. Just real bush league. This is getting pathetic. So all I'm really doing here is just adding some contrast. I have been working with a Krios PS770, which I really like. I have two of these right here. It is basically an Iwata custom micron without an Iwata price. It happens right away. It's one of my favorite airbrushes. And I'm just using a bunch of different curves here so that I can, block out. I've been using clear vinyl mask to as frisket, basically, to cut out the shirt and then the lapels and the jacket. And now that I've got the detail done on those things, I kind of want to go back and refine it a little bit and add the darks and the lights and give it some continuity. Right now it feels like a bunch of different shapes and that they don't really have anything to do with each other. I've got one more phone in the other room. I feel like hooking it up to the speaker so I can play some music in the background. It's been a day, for anybody that's watching. One of those days where I'm like, I've got a full-time job that's got decent pay and all that shit, and I know that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is, being subject to somebody else's hours, somebody else's buy your leave and stuff. I'm like, it's one of those days where just like, I I feel like just fuck it. You know, fuck all of it. And give this thing another chance on, full time. And anybody that doesn't like it can take a flying leap. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I don't care. You know, anybody that doesn't like it, there's 3 ways to leave this house, 4 if you include the windows. Because I feel like it's just one of those days where you're just like, you're done with all of it. You're done with the dog shit. even the dog shit that comes from the dog. Whatever. So this is venting. Who knows if this video is even going to stay up. So there it is. Me trying to attract bees with vinegar. I've been recording a lot of this in time lapse so that I can knit it into a video later. Anybody that's, well, hey Miami, how are you doing? And you love everything. That's good. I don't know if you saw this, but this is a repair. Somebody crunched their bike that I did 10 years ago into the back of their garage. And now I'm fixing it. And that's what this is. How are you doing? Yeah, I know. Well, yep. Could have been worse. I mean, the guy's pretty friendly. He's up in freaking Maine. I painted this bike in 2012. Which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind the work, but at the same time, I'm doing it over again, so I don't have the same what do you call it? It's not happening for the first time, so I'm not discovering anything cool. I'm just kind of making it look better than it did. I'm working with better guns. I'm not high. The first time I did this, I would come into the shop at night, and I was in a partnership with like 2 other people. I would come into the shop at night, smoke something, and then just what I call a straight t-shirt, which is you walk up to it and you start painting. With this one, I kind of map things out a little bit. This was done on a vinyl cutter, the paint mask. But I've been taking my time with it. I've had to take my time with it because I've been on 12-hour work days with this ever important, can't quit, gotta have it because of the benefits and job. It's one of those family-oriented jobs. I am working too. Oh, you're at work right now, or you're working on something on the side? Are you like doing work, or is it a hobby? Anyways, my point, and I did have one. Yeah, so getting this thing started, there's 6 minutes of nothing because I'm trying to work Streamlabs between 2 phones, and my computer's in the other room. If I was doing like a regular stream with the camera and my face or the other camera on the art table, that'd be completely different. But now I'm trying to, jump through a bunch of different hoops and stuff. Yeah, and all this is me freehanding lines and trying to get shading and stuff in there so that all of these different pieces and parts that were cut out and painted separately kind of look like they belong together. Lordy, I don't have time for side work, hobbies. Oh, wow. Complex a project in California. Dude, I don't even want to think about how complicated that is, the legalities involved. Sending out invites. So you're soliciting contractors and construction companies. I am assuming that's what you mean by that. Can you hear that? That's my dog. That's my crazy dog. And that's I mean, I don't want to bring you down, but that's too bad you don't have time for your own stuff. I mean, maybe you do and you're just not doing it right now, but I've been having one of those days where I automatically assume the worst from the point that I punched in this morning. So what's in this gun here is black and some purple candy. And the reason I do that is because straight black tends to make things look dirty. If you shade things with purple, or that helps it keep some colorful liveliness. You know, you don't want to make depending on the mood that you want. This is supposed to be colorful. I don't want to throw a bunch of black down there. Yes, okay, so my interpretation of what you're doing is correct. That's great. I like being able to understand things that people say. I like it when the comprehension part of my brain is working. I get a gold star. So I would imagine if you're doing that kind of stuff, that one of the things that is paramount to you is do these people know how to throw a building together that includes the structural integrity to stand up to an earthquake versus a hurricane. I bet you that's got to be one hell of a Rubik's Cube for any construction company in California. If they're close to the San Andreas Fault, they at some point they stop using concrete and rebar and they start using rubber. Yeah, dogs. Yep. Oh, they did they? Well, it's sort of like when you know that somebody on the other end of the stream has an Alexa, so you go, "Hey Alexa," and their Alexa wants to know what the hell you want when you don't actually want anything. Dirty tricks. Hey, what kind of dogs do you have? Are they the kind that go to the front of the class, or are they like my dog that goes to the back of the class every chance that he gets? By the way, that is a silent compressor that I made out of some old air conditioners. Got a lot of help from my wife's cousin, who is an electrician. But that was a long time ago, and it's been holding up for quite a while, so. Proud of myself. And that is that's a release valve. Class, why is there a release valve when the compressor shuts off? That's right, so that the pistons is not under a strain whenever it needs to kick on again. There's an empty cylinder for the pistons to pump air into. Otherwise, it would just get stuck. Correct. Gold star for everybody who answered that correctly. Just like all my other streams, I don't know how long this is going to last. A lot of this is impromptu. This stream was, the full disclosure, this stream was started out of pure hate. One of those, I can't stand working here. I'm going to do everything that I can to figure out whatever it is I need to do to take another crack at being self-employed. Which is hard to do when you're a professional procrastinator. I don't know if anybody else is afflicted with that. But in the professional league of procrastinators, I was drafted at least in the second round, like way back. Nothing drives you to want to do your own thing like a bad day at work. King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. I can't see those in my head. I mean, I don't know what a spaniel looks like. And a Bichon Freemix. Okay. I'm going to have to copy and paste that into a search engine. I have something that is either a blackmouth cur or we think is a Belgian Malinois crossed with either a pit bull or a boxer. And I had heard once from a painter friend of mine. He doesn't do this. He does all the clear coat and stuff after this. But he's friends with a couple of the local cops and one of them that trains Belgians for use with the police. And what he had said was Belgians. There's no middle of the road. They are either super trainable or they'll never learn anything. You don't get to pick. There are no B+, C- students when it's a Belgian Malinois. They are either passing with flying colors or they are in special class. One of my favorite ways to procrastinate is to fold laundry. I won't take forever. But I will let it, and it'll get done, but I'll let it build up like a couple of baskets so that I have an excuse to go upstairs and start a movie. And so I figure like maybe 5 minutes. I never want to invest in something that I haven't seen before. I'll probably put on a guilty pleasure so that I don't have to see what's going on, like pay attention and waste too much time. That's what makes you a professional. You don't want to waste too much time. You just want to waste just enough, and at least get something else done, some household chore or something like that. Hell, I might even pull out the food saver bags and some meat and decide to do something like that. Stephen Pressfield wrote a really, really good book called The War of Art that has everything to do with, being a professional and, why and how you do your work and having self-discipline and stuff like that. And I feel like I need to listen to that again because I don't have time to read. I'll listen to The War of Art while I'm doing art. Now don't ask about your other chores. You've got other chores. I have I did the yard yesterday. My wife, my wife and I did the yard. It was quite an experience. I have leaf blower envy. My next door neighbor has a nice 2-stroke still that will blow a weave off of a person's head. I was just using an old-fashioned rake, and the concept was, hey, come out and help me with this because I asked you, and you can have some appreciation for the yard and stuff like that. But what ended up happening was my neighbor came out and made the job easy where it was supposed to be more difficult. So I was like, thanks, I guess. I mean, the yards are small enough to where you can just walk from one to the other with one of these leaf blowers. I mean, it's like I don't even know if an acre is the size of a football field, then this is half of a hash mark and a 15 yards, and that's it. Yeah. Squab don't have teeth, huh? I don't know what that means. I don't know what I said to me for what squab don't have teeth. I should have listened closer to whatever it was I was saying. I don't mind yard work too much as long as it's a yard this big. Apartment life, I wouldn't mind either, but this little garage here is I can't do anything that I really need to from here. It's too cluttered. Neighbors are too close together. I can't lay down base coat, primer, or clear coat or anything with a big gun because it will poison everybody in the household. And if I just open the garage door, bits of it will get on the car that's parked in front of it, and it's just not zoned for light industrial. There's only certain parts of any given area where you can do that kind of work. The Department of Environmental Protection gets involved unless you can get some kind of a a variance for where you live. Like right across from the railroad track from my job is actually like a beautiful house, and I keep looking at it, and it's like $500,000, but it's got a couple of structures on there that I know I would be able to do like really awesome work out of, and nobody would care because my next door neighbors are a railroad track and where I work. Squab Bob is here. I see. Worms are good for fishing. Yes, unless they're the kind that are infesting your body. I went off on one of those rabbit holes. It's amazing the stuff that you get sucked into on Instagram. And then there's that whole Bobby Kennedy brainworms thing. So it's like off to the feed store for some horse paste. Get those worms out of you so you can think straight. I understand that's one of the side effects of having brainworms is not being able to think straight. Worms are good for fishing. Worms are really good for making good soil. Yeah. My direction of light on this is I don't know. I feel like there should be. I don't want to lose color, but I feel like there's not enough dimension happening here. and the way these fabric folds are working out aren't, they don't seem realistic to me. So there's a lot of back and forth, you know, push this back with the black, bring this forward with bright color and bright whites. The darker something is, the more in the background it is. The lighter it is, the more in the foreground it is. Oh, hell, I'm not even talking about the dogs. I'm talking about people. Man, there's some horror stories out there. Incidentally, this airbrush video was brought to you by Liberty Pole Spirits, distilled right here in Washington, PA. Some really good stuff. This is a peated whiskey. It's almost finished. I did not start this. This is I just grabbed it and had a snort right before I started. Just to say, I'm not 700 milliliters deep into this, and then hit play. That happened the other night. It's a very fine peated whiskey. Like I've had some Maker's Mark and some other good stuff, but I do enjoy that. I realize that drinking it out of the bottle like that is unorthodox. But it's like the last few sips at the end, and I'm just not in the mood to give a shit about that. Thank you. Cheers to you. Is Oban... Wait, I'm looking at this on the phone. Is Oban the best? If you're trying to spell bourbon, then it's possible that it is. I think whatever you're in the mood for is the best at the time. I mean, I don't mind this looking a little dirty. I don't want it looking like super dirty. Like the grungier it is, the scarier it is, I think. The old clown has less detail and he's got fangs. I wanted this guy to have some like rotted teeth. And I don't even know if I can zoom in on that. Can I? Yeah. Let's get into this part right here. I don't see how blurry that is. But yeah, I love this airbrush. You can get a super fine line with it. So I can like distinguish between the upper lip and the gums. Oh man, that's good. So thank you. Terrifyingly beautiful. This is, yeah, and it's been hard to get to because I haven't had the time. And then I popped in. I mean, I popped into the chat on the experts stream. He's so happy to see everybody whenever he sees them show up. And I feel like it's genuine too. It's not like he's, trying to. He's not being falsely nice. But he asked me about the Christmas balls, and it's so weird too because I had literally ordered them the day before I stopped in there to say hello, and they're like on their way, and they showed up. So I want to get a respectable amount of work done on this before I move over and start doing my black naughty and nice Christmas balls. And I think it would be like a fun stream, but I'm not sure how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like promote it. I don't know that I'm trying to. It would be nice to be able to generate some cash off of it, or if I was to like make it an auction or something like that. But I don't have the experience streaming. I don't know what would go over the best. And plus, my channel is so small. I feel like I would have to promote the hell out of it for a week. Probably do it on a either the day after Thanksgiving or a Monday. I took off Monday and Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Use the last of my personal time off days. So it's either going to be the Friday after Thanksgiving, or who knows? Maybe I could even talk expert into doing some sort of a joint thing and get some other channels that I've been on involved. But I haven't really thought that far into it. Yeah, the Christmas balls they will have been Dave-scaped by the time I'm done with them. I hope that doesn't scare anybody. Let's see about these. Well, yeah, and I got a new tripod for my camera, or for the phone camera here. The last one was made out of a microphone stand and actually I kind of fixed it, but it's made out of a microphone stand and a selfie stick, and it was really really stiff. It couldn't handle the weight of the phone that far out in front of the base. So while I was painting, it would slowly dip down further and further and further until whatever I was doing was out of the shot, and that was no good. So I had to really crank down on this one knob so that it wouldn't move anywhere. And then when I tried to move it, the shitty pot metal snapped off on me. So on to Amazon. I professionally procrastinated away from the project that I was doing so that I could shop online, and so that it was super super necessary. Should I give this a pupil? I'm going to let you guys decide. Glowing white eyes, or a little tiny insane pupil. So you know, full disclosure, the old clown has pupils. It'll be just this one little teeny weeny dot. You don't celebrate Christmas. What are you? You're either Jewish or Jehovah's Witness. What's happening there? Inquiring minds want to know. Is that? See, I mean, Reformed Presbyterian, I can't tell if you're joking. I don't know why one wouldn't. I mean, you celebrate something like Christmas, but call it something else like Festivus, but still, it's like, as long as you get stuff, as long as you get to stimulate the economy, the way our forefathers wanted you to. I mean, Christmas is like one of those American holidays, isn't it? Okay, I still can't tell. I think you're joking, but I do appreciate the history lesson. Puritans banned Christmas in Massachusetts? That's what my brother and I used to call it when we were little. It was the Statue of Liturgy and the state of Massachusetts. How terrible. How un-American. But then later I found out that one of my ancestors, a great, however many greats it takes to get back to the Revolutionary War, that one of my great, whatever grandfathers was a private in Washington's army. So now I have to carry the guilt of dishonoring the country when I was 5 by coming up with a dirty little rhyme like that. Very conservative, only celebrates Sunday, no Catholic. You're serious. No Catholic or extra biblical holidays. So it's like you're like the rest of us when it's Columbus Day or MLK Day. You go to work while the government is off. But with every other holiday. So that would mean you don't celebrate. Well, no, you would celebrate Easter because that happens on a Sunday. But you don't observe even in the least something like Valentine. Christmas wasn't celebrated in America till the War of Northern Aggression. It's while Washington's troops survived to fight another year. No Easter. Huh. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. That's something else, Bob. Do you, like, is that something that you're like, man, I wish I was a different religion or faith? I mean, that doesn't preclude you from having fun at Christmas. You just don't do the tree. And I know that there's a lot of some Christians who won't put up a Christmas tree because it's a pagan symbol of Samhain. I mean, a lot of stuff that happened in the pagan world was appropriated by Christians, like a lot of statues that were supposed to be of Apollo and Pluto were repurposed, very literally, to be statues of St. John and Paul and such and forward and stuff. We tolerate no Easter, no, right? Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a real, Valentine's Day isn't a real holiday per se, neither is like Halloween or anything like that, but as far as a religious holiday, you don't celebrate Christmas or Easter, but you'll still grill on Labor Day and Memorial Day, I'm assuming. I mean, you never don't grill, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, tolerant of other beliefs and why not, as long as they're not trying to blow you up. I mean, I'm tolerant of other beliefs. The one thing that I'm not tolerant of is people who are not tolerant of discussing how not so that you can, be a salesman or anything like that, but just like we're doing right now, discuss the differences and the whys and the wherefores, and even if you were, talking with a like an honest to God student of theology or something like that, and just sitting down and talking shop about the whys and the wherefores and the begats and why you believe what you believe, and be able to like sit down and do that. I remember my cousin and my cousin-in-law is the only way I can really describe it. Cousin and cousin, but one of them had been to Bible college and the other one was going to Bible college, and they were sitting down talking about the five solas, and it was interesting listening. It would be like listening to a couple of color commentators talk about something that's going on in football, and you're a big football fan, and you want to know, why the offensive coordinator called this play versus this play, and and the stats and stuff, and not to give it a laissez-faire, because faith is a very, very serious thing, much more serious than football. But in so much as it was interesting as a when you realize how much there is to like your favorite cars, because it's your favorite car because it looks this way, but then you get into the hood and why it works the way it works. That kind of interest, of interest and respect for the craft, I guess. Yes, five solas, right? And I'm going to see if I can remember them: sola fide, sola scriptura, sola. It's not Dios. It's faith alone, by Scripture alone, through the Spirit alone, and two others. And aren't the two others the Father alone and the Son alone? I should be better at that. I do listen. I listen to my Bible on a daily basis, but I'll be honest. Sometimes I take in my Bible and my faith and the stuff that I believe in. Sometimes I take it in the way that people swallow a vitamin. His own birthday. I love it when people kind of go backwards with planetary alignments, and maybe you've heard this one where you've got a couple of planets lining up. Jupiter, Venus was really bright the other night, where once in a very great while. In fact, we do have it coming up where a lot of the planets are supposed to line up in pretty much a straight line, but line up in such a way as that it looks like, that they line up temporary in a, big, light, little, big, medium, little, and they light up in such a way as that it looks like one star pointing towards the Earth. Where am I at on here? I don't think I'm done. This should be brighter over here. This should be darker. The light's kind of coming this way. But this doesn't make sense. Yeah, 5 BC. It's one of my favorite subjects to worry about. Not worry about, but how they kind of treat it like a horror show. Well, is eschatology. There is a guy I really like his book. Is it Paul or Peter James Van Kampen? Of course, they're going to be named Peter, Paul, or James. But he does a really good job with translating Scripture into understanding how the end times is supposed to work out, and not predicting it, but just making sure that there's a difference between. And I think this matters a lot. A lot of times, people who are talking about end times theology, they conflate tribulation and wrath, so that when you're talking about when you're looking at the concept of tribulation and you think it's the same thing as wrath, understanding that those are two different concepts will change your perception on what's supposed to happen to who and when. Not when it's going to happen, but well, it makes a whole lot more sense. You know, it's like understanding the difference between gas and diesel. You know, they're both fuels. They're both, you know, make the thing go. But if you put one in the wrong tank, it just really doesn't work out. I think I've heard that name before. I have to look him up again. Now, Chuck Missler has some interesting stuff to say, and I can't remember. It's like one of my my one family member who I respect his opinion on a lot of this stuff, but I can't remember what his problem was with Chuck Missler. But he has some interesting stuff to say about you know, like, quote, taking the Lord's name in vain, where according to him, it's not necessarily about profanity, although they don't recommend that you just drop, you know, F-bombs and take the Lord's name in vain in a traditional way. But that taking the Lord's name in vain is what he says is a matter of ambassadorship. In other words, saying that you're a Christian and then, you know, not acting like it. You know, saying that you are a believer of Jesus Christ and then not actually, you know, following what they have to say. You know, if you're going to be a light unto the world and then not be that light. And I mean, I don't know about you, but, you know, everybody get your tissues. We all have issues. Thank God we're all forgiven, because if we weren't, I'd be screwed so bad. How did we even get on this subject? Something tells me it was my fault. Okay. Fellas, I'm being called upstairs for dinner. Really all I wanted to do was get this worked out so that I could, you know, get a phone to record and so that I could see the chat somewhere, somehow. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out later. I'll try to do more of these. But for right now, I'm going to call it and... more. Right. Yeah, I know. There's guys that I know that use the F-bomb as a matter of just it's the cadence of their speech. They're not trying to sound angry. They're just they throw it in there like it's an or an so you can tell, yeah, the intent isn't there. So here, I'll zoom out. I got more work to do on this. These animals and this guy getting attacked needs to be detailed in. I'm really looking forward to getting done with this side of it. And but then I got to do the other side. On the other side is the fat lady and the skinny guy getting chased down by the clowns in the little Volkswagen. So that should be fun. But let me see if I can figure out how to... I'm going to see if I can figure out how to end this here. So it's going to be an awkward goodbye as I stop. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out.